Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjanachalakaya Chakshurun Milidam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbhishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanshakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Bhavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktabinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I am very grateful, very honored, and very happy to be with you this evening. Special gratitude to my exalted God brothers and God sisters who are assembled, and to each and every one of you for being here. This is truly a historical event. 50 years ago, our beloved Guru Maharaj, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, established the form of the Lord and entrusted their care to all of us to create an opportunity for us to make spiritual progress. We find in our Vaishnav history, the greatest among our acharyas have established communities with the Archamurti of Sri Krishna in the very center. Sripad Ramanujacharya, his community was very much around the cooperative efforts of all the devotees in the personal loving service of Sri Ranganath in Rangakshetra, Balaji in Tirupati, Bharadraj in Kanchipuram, Tirunarayanam in Melkote, Sripad Madhvacharya in Udupi. He established a whole community of thousands and thousands of devotees. They were all centered around the loving service of Udupi Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was living in Jagannath Puri, all of his activities with all of his devotees were centered around the loving service of Lord Jagannath, Baladev Subhadra. And his primary disciples, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, headed by Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. They established the temples and the beautiful forms of Sri Radha Govinda Dev, Sri Radha Madan Mohan, and the communities of Vrindavan. And even today we find in Vrindavan, almost all the devotees are in a community focused around a particular beautiful form of Sri Krishna. Sri Vallabhacharya built his whole community of devotees around Gopal or Srinathji. So in this way, putting Krishna in the center of our interrelationships is the science of bhakti. Athapum vidvijastreshtas varna shrama vibhaga shashvanushtitasya dharmasya samsadir hari toshana. Whatever our occupation, whatever our particular status, varna or ashram, our success is in how we please Krishna. Because bhakti is not something that can be attained. The awakening of the love of God, of Krishna that is within our heart, is something that is given. Daiviheshu gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mame vamye prapadyante maya me tatarantite. That material nature is very powerful. There are endless distractions at every moment. Each and every one of us is unique. We're eternally unique. The jiva, the spirit soul within the heart of every living being, is eternally a unique part of the Supreme Soul, or Krishna. Mamaivam so jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. Just like the scientists say that there are no two snowflakes that have ever fallen from the sky, they are identical to each other. There are no two mosquitoes with the same personality. Within this material creation, there's limitless variegatedness, uniqueness. And as far as human beings, we all have our own minds, our own conditionings. And on the spiritual level, aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvata. Everything is coming from the Supreme Truth. Krishna says, all material, all spiritual worlds are emanating from me. There are no two atomic particles that are identical. Each has a uniqueness. If you go deep into the subtleties. And on the spiritual level, there are infinitesimal spirits. There are infinite rays coming from the Son of Krishna. And each spirit soul has a unique personality. That is God's greatness. And achintya beda beda tattva. Simultaneously, everyone is the same. We are all uniquely the same. Does that make sense? Doesn't make sense. We could try to intellectually understand this, grapple with it. But ultimately, the real understanding can only come when it is revealed to us. We are all part of the same source. We are all Satchit Ananda, eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. We're all of the substance of Krishna in minute quantity. And yet, each one of us is eternally, resplendently unique. And similarly, in this material world, when the spirit soul is conditioned by the mind and so many karmas of previous lives and this life, how the spirit, how the eternal soul is covered by Maya, or this illusory energy, each one of us is uniquely conditioned. There could be general categories. You know, we may be attracted by the motive passion and lusty desires and greed. But specifically, what attracts us, why it attracts us, how we're attracted. Each of us is so individual, personal. But Maya is very powerful. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. It's divine energy. But one who takes shelter of Krishna. By Krishna's grace, yeyatamam prapadyante tams tataiva bhajamyam. According to how we take shelter, how we surrender, Krishna reveals himself. Krishna awakens the soul, uncovers the soul from all of these illusions. That is only possible when we put Krishna in the center of our lives. The maha-mantra, Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas, they gave us a translation, which is the spirit in which we should chant. Because essentially, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, is an invocation of the supreme source of all love, of all devotion, of all compassion, Sri Radha, and the all-attractive reservoir of all pleasure, Sri Krishna Ram. But the spirit is, Sri Radha, Sri Krishna, how may I serve you? Please engage me in your service. To put Krishna in the center of our lives is not just a theory, it's practical. Every aspect of our lives is meant to be harmonized with the will to please Krishna. And Krishna descends into this world to teach us how and to give us opportunities. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vedi tattvata tyaktva deham punar janma naiti mameti sorujana. How, Srila Prabhupada would ask this question in many of his lectures, how is the source of everything that exists, Aham Bija Pratapita, the father and the mother of all living beings, how could that supreme source of everything be born? And Krishna tells in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that one who understands the transcendental nature of my appearance and my activities in this world never takes birth in this world again, but attains my supreme, eternal, loving abode in my service. Krishna appears as Yashoda Nandan, Devaki Nandan, Nanda Nandan. He appears as a child of his devotees to give those devotees the opportunity to serve them with the love of a parent to the child. and also appears in such a way to give all the world the opportunity to not only know him, but to learn the process of how to love him through seva, through service. Manmanabhava madbhakto madhyashimna namaskuru. Krishna tells in Gita, the process of surrender is to always think of me. Become my devotee, worship me, offer your homage unto me. In this way you will come to me without fail. This is my promise, Arjuna. And it's his promise to each and every one of us. But how to remember Krishna with love? Our great acharyas have taught us it's by putting Krishna in the center of life. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yajju hoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi konteya tat kurushu madarapana. All that you do, all that you offer and give away, whatever austerities, anything we do can be an offering of devotion for Krishna's pleasure. And Krishna tells in Gita that this process is accessible for everyone. Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhakta prayachati. Even if you offer a little water, a fruit, a leaf or a flower with devotion, I accept it. So the great acharyas, they have established these murtis, these beautiful forms of the Lord within temples to be the very heart and center, individually and collectively. Srimad Bhagavatam tells that when you water the root of the tree, the water goes to every part of the tree, the leaves and the branches and the flowers. If you put food in the stomach, the nourishment will go to every part of the body. And similarly, when through our service attitude, through our sincerity, Krishna is pleased, when we show our love to Krishna, then that is extended to all the demigods, all humanity, all living entities, and all of creation. Because in this age of Kali, an age of quarrel and hypocrisy, there is no end to reasons to fight, to disagree, to hate. It's the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. But Srila Prabhupada, on behalf of all of our great spiritual teachers, he taught param dristvani vartate. Unity must be on a higher principle. Srila Prabhupada explained, oftentimes in this world when there's problem, people unify on a lower principle, out of fear. Sometimes in politics, people who really don't like each other and really don't agree, they'll unite and make alliances so they can overcome somebody else. But the higher principle that Krishna is talking about, the higher principle that Prabhupada has taught us is, Krishna, what pleases you? That's the only real question of our success. It's the only real method of making spiritual advancement. In this situation, whatever it may be, how can I please you? Whether it be in my family life, and there are so many opportunities for confusions and disruptions in family life. whether it's in our occupation, in our social life, or in our spiritual life, or as a spiritual community. What will please you? So the deity is installed with prescribed methods. I was recently listening to a recording of Srila Prabhupada, where 1969, Columbus, Ohio, Allen Ginsberg was speaking to Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada called him Mr. Ginsberg. And it's a 2.5-hour discussion. It's very instructive. But in one place, Srila Prabhupada was explaining how, because Allen Ginsberg was saying there are so many complicated technicalities in trying to practice Krishna consciousness. You have to wake up early and you're going to Mangal Arati and you're chanting a certain number of rounds. So many things. He said complications and technicalities. And Prabhupada, he said, yes, we need these complications and technicalities. He said it helps us to remember Krishna 24 hours a day. We have to keep our mind focused. That's the purpose of them. If we lose the purpose, then if we do all the things, but we lose the purpose of why, then we don't get the proper benefit. But Krishna appears, and Srila Prabhupada, when he welcomed Sri Rukmini-Dvarakanatha 50 years ago, he showed by his example. He's our Acharya, the most learned scholar of the Vedas. He's our teacher. We'll do anything for him. And he's teaching us how to be a most humble, loving servant of the Supreme Lord. He's bathing him, cooking for him with his own hands, offering garlands to him, singing for him, dressing him, making him beautiful, making him happy. And he's teaching, this is a devotional community where everyone wants Krishna to be happy. Together we sing for him. Srila Prabhupada explained when the pujari is doing shringar, dressing Krishna, when the pujari is doing bhoga, offering, or arti, or whatever other services, the pujari is actually, as Giriraj Swami Maharaj was explaining, is assisting our Guru, Srila Prabhupada, in service. And Prabhupada explained the pujari is also on behalf of the whole community of devotees. The pujari is assisting Srila Prabhupada, our Guru, in the service of Shri Shri Rukmini-Dvarakanatha. So when we rise, we have class before the deity, we chant and we dance before the deity. We have, and whether it's giving from our income, Srila Prabhupada established so many temples, as did Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and so many other acharyas, to give opportunity for people who are working to actually transform their whole occupation into devotional service, to give a deep spiritual purpose. And whether we're giving a penny or $10 million, whether we have a PhD and we use our intelligence, or we have no education at all and we use our intelligence. Whether we're very skilled at what we're doing or whether we really don't know how to do much of anything well. Krishna consciousness is not at all dependent on our karma. It's not dependent on our skills or what birth we have taken. It's dependent on our sincerity. Prabhupada writes that pure devotional service is very rare. Because when Krishna gives us pure devotional service, he gives us himself. He forever accepts a role of being subordinate to the love of devotee. But Krishna easily gives pure devotional service to one who is sincere and serious and has no ulterior motives. Srila Prabhupada established New Dwarka, Los Angeles, as his, at one time I believe it was his international headquarters. And when Mayapur was established, it was national headquarters. Western World Headquarters. Okay. That's, I'm speechless. Western World Headquarters. And his idea of doing is that it would be a place where inspiration, education, and direction would spread throughout the Western world. He wanted the standards of cooking, the standards of deity worship, the standards of management of temple, the standards of devotional interactions among the community, that this be an example. And Srila Prabhupada himself, as our Acharya, he taught by his example. Simply giving for the pleasure of Krishna. One devotee was in Prabhupada's quarters here in New Dwarka, and today we heard that Srila Prabhupada, a devotee said, "This is like heaven." And Prabhupada said, "No, it is Vaikuntha." This is quarters. But Prabhupada would say different things to different devotees to establish the same principle of pure unalloyed devotion. Because one devotee said to Prabhupada that these quarters are so beautiful. And Prabhupada said, "Yes." He said, "This is Vaikuntha. This is so beautiful. But I am sitting here simply feeling separation from my little room at Radha Damodar Temple in Vrindavan, which had no electricity at the time, hardly. It was just a tiny little room, clay floor, cold water. Sometimes you'd have to go all the way to the Yamuna to get some water." Prabhupada said, "But for me to go back to Vrindavan, that would be sense gratification. I am here because this is where I could best serve my Guru Maharaj, and I can best serve all of you." The false ego, ahankar, is so powerful and so divisive. Krishna consciousness teaches us the process of transcending the false ego by putting Krishna in the center. Today at 3 o'clock, I was witnessing the beautiful boat festival of Rukmini-Dvarakanatha. How many were there? It was just wonderful. So simple, but so sweet. Somebody just came around and said, I have a boat, would you like it? This is the story I was told by Nagatma Prabhu. And it was a beautiful hand-carved teak wood boat. And that, like, Sarovar, or that Kund, I think it's just like a swimming pool for children. Is that what it is? And when I saw Swavas Prabhu going in and out of it, it really looked like a swimming pool for children. But it's taking just an ordinary swimming pool, it's just sold in the market, and a nice boat, and devotees with so much. You could feel the love and devotion, filled with thousands and thousands of rose petals, so fragrant. And all the devotees are so happy, almost mesmerized with joy to seeing the deities just sailing through this little swimming pool. And everyone was singing the names of the deities. It's just a wonderful way in which our hearts are all united in pleasing Krishna. Here at New Dwarka, I'm seeing over the years devotees led by Swavas Prabhu, Badri Narayan Maharaj, and all the exalted devotees here, Archita Prabhu, Nagatma Prabhu, so many. I don't want to speak more because I'll forget others. The splendor of the Singhasan, the beauty of the pujari room. Maybe some of you are not allowed to go there, but please know it's the most well-organized, clean, aesthetically beautiful pujari room I have ever seen anywhere in the world. And I used to be a pujari, and I've traveled a lot of places. But so much care, so much attention, so much expense, so much everything for Krishna. And just knowing this makes a true devotee is so pleased to experience the service offered to Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he would be offered so much mahaprasad, he said, just bring me some boiled vegetables and some simple rice. I'm happy that Jagannath ate all this prasad. He'd see the offering. There would be hundreds of preparations of the most extraordinarily delicious dishes. And Lord Chaitanya would be so happy because Jagannath enjoyed it. Now, because you're so happy Jagannath enjoyed it, you just give me some steamed vegetables, I'm happy. Prabhupada said when you dress the deity nicely, then the devotees don't have to even dress themselves so nicely. They could be simple because they're so happy seeing Krishna getting. When Srila Prabhupada established this beautiful form 50 years ago, he was giving each and every one of us, and for generations to come, and the whole world, the opportunity to taste the sweetness of pleasing Krishna. Of awakening love for Krishna. So today is a wonderful celebration. This festival and the organizers of the festival, we are so grateful to all of you. In Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Pastimes of Love, he taught how the sincerity of our hearts to serve, to remember Krishna, to chant Krishna's names is for everyone. There was Maharaj Prataparudra. He was king of Orissa. He was the undisputed king. Magnificent palace, wonderful family. He was young, he was strong. Incredible wealth. But he conquered Lord Chaitanya's heart when he swept the street for the pleasure of Jagannath and the devotees. And Lord Chaitanya was seeing the intent of his heart. And he didn't just sweep the street and then just go and enjoy in his palace again. Everything he had, he considered it Krishna's property, his guru's property, the devotee's property. He used everything. When Lord Chaitanya was traveling with so many hundreds and hundreds of devotees, King Prataparudra practically put his entire treasury to build kitchens throughout his kingdom wherever the devotees were traveling on their pilgrimage to Vrindavan. Guest houses, stockpiles of fresh organic foods. That's all there was in those days. And then there was Suklambar Brahmachari. He was just a little brahmachari who lived in a thatched hut on the bank of the Ganga. And every day he would beg. He would beg maybe 12 houses each day. And sometimes when you're a beggar, you're rejected and insulted. And sometimes you're given some chipped rice, the cheapest of all foods. And usually it's the chipped rice from the bottom of the barrel that's kind of all broken up. Usually that's what people give beggars. And they'd throw it and he'd keep it in his little cloth bag. And then he'd bring it home and he'd wash it and he'd cook it in Ganga water and offer it to Krishna. And that's all he had was some cheap rejected rice. So when Lord Chaitanya was sitting on the throne of Vishnu at Srivasangam and Suklambar was dancing, Lord Chaitanya called him forward and Suklambar was dancing and Lord Chaitanya thrust his hand in that bag and pulled out the broken rice and ate a handful of it. And was speaking about how he had never experienced such delicious prasad. Because that's all he had. King Prataparudra, during the Ratha Yatra at the Balagandhi, he had his cooks and his queen and his ministers. They were hundreds and hundreds of the most exquisite preparations of prasad were being offered. And Suklambar Brahmachari The rice wasn't even cooked. It wasn't even washed yet. And Lord Chaitanya was enjoying it as much as the other prasad. Because the Lord wanted to show us that where there is devotion, that's where the Lord finds pleasure. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada established so many temples. And Prabhupada, when he came to the West, he established temples all over America, Europe, Australia, Africa, later on Russia and Eastern Europe, India, to give us all opportunities to be united for the higher purpose of pleasing Krishna. An opportunity to fix our minds on Krishna. Om pavitra pavitro va sarvavastam gatopi va. Yasmaret pandarikaksam sa bhayabhyantara suchi. When we remember Krishna, we become purified. We remember him by seeing his beautiful form and by serving his beautiful form. Deity worship, whether it's on the altar or in the temple or in our own homes, it gives us a sense of personal service to please Krishna. It gives us a sense of family, of community who are together in the personal service to please Krishna. On behalf of Srila Prabhupada, that is our movement. And then when we chant the holy names, we have the right intent. And by the power of the holy names, Krishna is so pleased. Trinadapi sunichena. When we have this service attitude and we chant the holy names, Krishna is so pleased. Sri Radharani, Sri Krishna reveal themselves in the holy names. Purify our hearts and awaken the dormant ananda, the dormant ecstasy of love that's within us. That is the purpose of the Krishna consciousness movement. It's interesting how Prabhupada did not translate bhakti as devotion, because he wanted to be so precise and practical. He translated bhakti as devotional service. Jivera swarupoi krishnera nityadas. In every aspect of our life, how could we best serve? You are so fortunate. We are also fortunate to be here today to celebrate the 50th appearance day of Rukmini-Dvarakanatha. And we see behind me there are so many birthday cakes. And there's new clothes, and there's so many celebrations and so many decorations in the temple for the birthday of Krishna. In this way, so beautiful. The Archamurti, Prabhupada gave us these deities so that we can, in the most personal ways, celebrate, serve, and give pleasure. Thank you very much. Svavas Prabhu, we all have one question. How can we serve you?